I was just picking the kids up, and it dawned on me I didn't do video this morning. You know, I had a lot I had to do. I had to write a bunch of emails. I had to, what?
Yeah, you did a video.
I thought I did too, but I didn't. I had a lot on the go. I was trying to get a bunch of emails written. I was in constant contact with Wendy over back and forth, I guess, over the shares, because as it always happens, some people were left out, and then other people were looking to trade their shares in of some horses, so I was trying to connect them with people that were trying to buy shares. We got it all done, I think, for the most part. I know there was a couple of people messaged me today that were looking for shares of horses that didn't end up getting any, and honestly, that bothers me every single year, that every single sale that happens. And this sale in particular, I don't think we've ever gone to a major sale and purchased 12 horses and had them sell out so quickly. And now, obviously, there's 2 horses that there are shares too. I believe there was a gentleman that wanted to buy shares in one horse and sell shares in his other. Now, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get everybody worked up, say, oh, can I get shares in this horse, that horse? So I'm just going to say there may be some changes moving forward. Just on one horse, I think. I'll leave it at that. I can't be any more. I have to be vague. But I don't remember a sale ever going. And, you know, as I said to everybody, I'm a little surprised that the flyer horses at the end of the sale were moving slow. One was an Ontario bred who was incredibly well bred and looks beautiful on the track. And I still have yet to see the big black horse jog that Jason loves, but he said he looks amazing on the track. I missed him again today. But I mean, Jason knows what he's looking at. He said the horse looks great, and that would be Stuntman. So those were the 2. Oh, and Juju Me. I don't know if the shares left in Juju Me. I didn't look today. Shouldn't be any shares, but could be some. So that's what was going through my head today. Obviously, you would think after getting set back last night that would be front and center to my mind, but it really wasn't. I guess, yeah, I had shoved Dan through one pylon going into the turn at the 5/8, but, you know, it was my understanding, it was my feeling he was cutting me loose. My horse just running a little bit. I didn't really think I interfered with him, but I apologize. It looks like I definitely did shove him through one pylon, and I was tossed. It was my bad, my fault. The way that race worked out was I was going around the first turn. I was going to shove right through the middle of him, but then I know Dan's not going to take back. I wouldn't either. So that means you have to stretch him 3 wide around the turn and then cut him loose. You think he's going to do you any favors and let you remove? Good luck. I wouldn't do that either. So I just decided to let him keep going and then continue on with Soldier. Man, he raced good. I know the horse run off 1 by 10, but he actually raced good and trotted as hard as he could to the wire. Parked hard to the half in 56 seconds. Trotted in 55 in a bit. And actually did, you know, the one thing, I struck him once down the back stretch of the whip. He doesn't like the whip that much. He doesn't want to take a whole lot of it. He'll go for it if you just tap him on the rump. But, you know, I am an aggressive driver, but I can tell you Soldier doesn't respond very well when you strike him. So, my thoughts on that, I'll veer off the path because I do want to talk about Danny for a minute. I'll veer off the path. A lot of people asking me. I missed Memento Mori. Of course, I couldn't do an update video without missing one horse. I missed Memento Mori. My apologies. My thought process is simple. They schooled him at 55 and 2 the other day. That is not good enough to do at Mohawk. It just isn't. So I told them, do not enter him. He said, what of Flamborough? I said, nope, put him right in the truck. He can go to Corbin. He fits the non-winners of 2,500 in Corbin. He can stay in those classes straight through the meet. They don't make you jump up unless you win, which, hey, I'd be happy to. But I think that Maury will do just fine. So Maury is going there. Spitfire Overseas is going there. He fits the non-winners at 2,500. Again, him and Maury can slowly ascend. That's the plan. Anyway, with Maury and with Spitfire Overseas, and then of course we'll have Jolene Hall. We'll have Zena Kemp. She's healthy now and ready to train and get ready for next week. She's going to start in the non-winners of 1. And then we have the one name filly. What's her name? Who? What are you talking about, Nut Bar? We have, it's on the tip of my tongue. You know who I'm talking about. Digga. Degas. So that's 5. I was looking for an open pacer. The only one that really came to mind was Time Is On My Side, and I could be talked into sending him to Corbin. We'll see if the open goes at the Meadows this week. We'll see if it goes at the Meadows, then how he does at the Meadows, and that will decide where we go next. Here's a horse that is at the top of the division, but that is a top-heavy division in every jurisdiction, in every place, in both sides of the border. The Breeders' Crown's going to go in 47. The Open, the week of the Breeders' Crown, will likely go 48, 49. And Time can pace there. He's already proven that. But to what end? And don't think you're going to roll. And I could have sent Winter Soldier. I was going to send him to Corbin, but let's be honest. You know, it was funny. I ran into Kurt Sugg today. He was at the track talking with Dr. Latessa, and we were talking about Corbin, and he put it the best. He said, they could race for 40,000 in Nebraska, first week of a new track, and it would be full. People don't miss that they're going for 40 grand in Corbin. It's not lost on people. And there's still more than enough big stables left in Kentucky. You just race out of Lexington, out of the Red Mile, and ship to Corbin. It's like an hour and a half, I think. So no one's missing. So there's going to be no cakewalks. You can be sure Ron Burke isn't going to say, I don't know if we should go to Corbin. Maybe we'll just skip it. That's a hard no. This is right driveway, right? Yeah. And then, of course, last night we had Uncle Danny. Uncle Danny was tremendous. Just got beat us out at the wire. I thought I won, and then I could hear the announcer say, I think the 3-horse held on. But Danny raced good. You know, put yourself, here's a horse. You know, here's a horse in Uncle Danny. Here's a horse in Uncle Danny that has had a tough year. And, you know, I just reminisced just a little bit last night. That second place finish put him over 60 for the year. And I think of all the races that he was flat or no good or very ordinary. I think Nora is coming with us. Oh, no, Mom took Nora. Mom took Nora this morning. All those races where he just raced poorly and then come back and race good. The races he raced poorly, 3, 4, maybe even 5 races that he was extra flat. You know, what could have been? Could have got the 6 figures easy, that horse. He raced good last night, though. You know, that just shows the tenacity of that horse. You'd think last start of the year, it's October. He's getting tired. Then he goes out and races. Probably the worst race of his life in Dayton. Sick, scope sick. His blood work was messed up. The fact that we were going to race him once more, it was up in the air. You know, and then you're in the Buckeye constellation. I'm like, you know, maybe we'll race him. We'll see how he is. So we put him in the Buckeye constellation. He draws 8. So I got the 8 hole. I go out of there last night. I think I'm an easy winner if the 7-horse doesn't trot out of there with me, but he had to do what he had to do. I end up backpedaling into the 4 hole, which, again, leave hard and then drop him back into the 4 hole, coming off a start when you're sick, where you didn't get to train in between because you were sick. I'm thinking, stay left, do not leave the rail. If everything opens up, you maybe you'll get a crack at them. That's exactly what happened around the last turn. If Chris Lems comes to the outside and I get a clear shot down the inside, he's a winner for sure. But when Chris dropped in, I wasn't certain there was going to be a clear shot right, so I just stayed left. And there was enough room in the passing lane. I zipped up the inside, and as I said, I thought I was a winner, but just come up a hair short. And he raced absolutely tremendous. As I said, think of the mind frame of that horse going into the mindset of that horse going into the race. You know, it's the end of the year. He has to be exhausted. For him to go out and put just a very good effort in last night, just goes to show you, just gives you a glimpse of what could be at 3 also. I was just very, very proud of, you know, Judy was 4th, but super tenacious and super tough. And Uncle Danny finishing 2nd, just getting beat at the wire. We get some nice horses, not just a 2, but coming back at 3. So there you have it. There's your list from this morning. My apologies. Memento Mori is headed to Corbin. 1 second, sweetheart. Memento Mori is headed to Corbin. Spitfire Overseas is headed to Corbin. Jolene Hall, Degas, and Zena Kemp all will be in Corbin. If I can find an open pacer. Actually, after watching the Grand Circuit races yesterday in Lexington, I really did think there would be an open pacer. Maybe one of those fringe pacers from yesterday would be up for sale. It just didn't come about. They weren't there, but that doesn't mean they won't be tomorrow. And if we can find an open pacer for Corbin in the coming days for the entry next week or the week after, then we will be in play. I can guarantee you that. Further to that, I do have one other update that is going to upset Greg, and it definitely upsets me. Arrowhead Hanover is a little bit sick. He won't be able to go tomorrow from post 9 at Dayton. That will likely keep me from the sale. And as I said yesterday, I had a number of people message me hips to look at, but then I looked at the board, and we still have like 5 Ohio breds with shares left in them. And I just don't think that there would be an Ohio bred I would go down and purchase tomorrow that would supersede the ones that are on our list. So I just don't think I'm going to go to the sale tomorrow, which gives me another day to focus on Harrisburg, which we will be going to. Gives me more pause now when we start talking about flyer buckets, when the 2 flyer horses that were quality horses I bought in Lexington for rock bottom prices are still, half of one left up and 30% of the other. It just makes me believe that maybe we weren't after flyer horses after all. Maybe I didn't read the room very good. And that's my fault. Those horses will obviously sell out, so will the Ohio breds. But when it comes to us buying horses for the barn, and especially paying for them, then it does become important. Just 1 second. It does become very, very important that we get that taken care of. So I will be looking at, I can tell you this, with absolute certainty, we'll be getting a higher end pacing colt in Harrisburg. I would like it to be a bulldog or maybe a cattle wash of something of that nature, but it looks like it also may be a Captain Treacherous. I've seen 3 or 4 of them that I really like also. So we're looking at a high-end pacer. We're also looking for an Ontario-bred pacing colt. We don't have one of those yet. That would complement very well the Ontario breds that we have so far. I could be talked into. I saw one more King of the North that I thought looked really good in the sale. That I looked in the sale. There were a couple of, that's a good point, honey. I was going to text Ava as soon as I'm done with this. We're just sitting out here like creepers outside the high school. The one thing I did want to look into was the London sale. I looked at a couple of horses that I thought I would really like, and quite frankly, I'm not going to name names because that would be rude, but one of them I don't like. And I looked very closely because one of our clients, Ed, said, "Did you look at this horse's video? I don't really love this video." Ed, I looked at it quickly when it first came out, and I thought it was okay. And after further review of it, you're right. I don't like that horse, and it was a horse I thought I would like. So, a lot to go through. Am I going to the London sale? Probably yes. Am I going to Harrisburg? Absolutely yes. What we do at those 2 sales will be determined on and by what our clients want to do moving forward. You. So with that, I'm going to let you go. As I said, my apologies. I missed Maury. I got him updated. A bit of a frustrating update with regards to Arrowhead Hanover. My biggest thing was Jerry's girl was sick on the weekend, so we have her under fluids and antibiotics. She should be ready for the first lag in Virginia next week. That's the plan. Logan Ebersol is going down there. I told him he could probably drive her in the first lag if he wanted. But we'll see. I mean, I got to see if she's healthy enough, first off. So it's just something going through the barn. I know it isn't. Listen, I don't know what to say. The babies are on one side, and the racehorses are 3 shed rows away. But it's hard to hide this time of year from the virus, isn't it? Just kind of, it's like when the kids go back to school, right? Anyway, nothing major. All the sick horses will be treated, and we'll be back in due time. Everybody else seems good. We're getting geared up for the Corbin meet at Cumberland Run. At Cumberland Run, they still call it the Mint at Cumberland Run. I think they do, but that's Corbin, Kentucky. We definitely have 5 on the lookout for a 6th as we get ready for that particular meet. Obviously, coming up next week for us too is a huge week for us. The Breeders' Crown is where it's going to be for us. Perfect Thought. We'll be prepping hopefully this weekend for the Breeders' Crown next week. Jailbird Jog will be arriving in Canada from Kentucky. No race for her. We're not going to be prepping her in any race form, but most definitely training her at Mohawk probably Monday or Tuesday for her potential start at Mohawk in the Breeders' Crown eliminations the following week. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Goodbye. I hope you're having hope you had a great day. It was a beautiful day here in Ohio. Just a really, really nice day. A little frustrated that I haven't seen my daughter come out to the car yet. I'm going to have to text her. I don't know what your daughters are like, but mine is starting to believe that the world revolves around her. It can't revolve around both of us. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.